words of the bats are slapping the mud to the working man.
Swords? Wise. Not safe round.
They say...
Duty calls.
Another one. Run along home with the rest.
Sir, show some mercy. We've not got nowhere to go. For us, it's Novigrad or death.
That's enough for you lots. Sod off, or I'll have you skewered.
They seem desperate. Let them through. Can't see any harm in it.
Fucking hell. How many times have I got to repeat this? I've orders to turn back anyone who don't show a pass.
King's a long way away, and your pay's probably meager. Sure we can't make a deal?
Mean to say you're looking to, purchase a one-time pass?
Exactly.
That's a whole other conversation. Way's clear.
Thank you. We got nowhere to go back to. Novigrad. That's a chance of a new life.
Stay off the roads. Liable to run into another patrol.
Shan't be taken like that again. We'll be as careful as hares in a field bared by winter. But you was cast in a different mould than us. More like the hero that lies in the tomb neath Crookback Hills. Tomb's in a cave in a hillside. Downwarren's at the foot of the hill. Folk say treasure inside's a sight to behold. Huge hoard. Might find something that suits you. Good luck.
White head like a miller's son.
Seems everything's ready.
Aye. Soon as we catch sight of them, we'll block the road against the whole unit if need be. And, you know, I think it's a great plan all round, and I'm always glad to help. And it's not like I'm not eager to crack some holier-than-thou bugger skulls, but seeing as we've got a Doppler, wouldn't it have been easier to have him release Dandelion and be done with it?
Too suspicious. Think about it. Menga disappears, then shows up with a scar on his face to release Dandelion.
I suppose you're right.
Priscilla, what are you doing here?
Some child brought a note from Dudu. The convoy will leave at dawn. May I stay with you? I can't stand it. Sitting at home, worrying about Dandelion.
Never fear, my dear. You'll get your warbler back. Just hope he's got his... Damn it! Gotta watch the rhymes in the presence of a lady.
Go back to town.
Please, I shan't be any trouble.
Oh, come on, Geralt. Leave it go. Let her stay. Look at her, all weepy-eyed. Like my Mutsy when his guts knotted up.
Fine, she can stay. On one condition.
I know, as soon as the fighting starts, I'm to stand at a distance.
Not much happening just yet, and there may be some time before it does.
Well, how about a game of Gwent?
Sure, Let's play.
Over one again? My goodness. So, another hand? If you've no more coin, we could play for...
They're coming! They're coming now!
Priscilla, stay here. Dandelion. Damn it.
Geralt, go after him. Leave these here to us.
Watch
Broke through here.
Shit. 3 more
Lost him.
sets out the
Gotta
hole.
look for tracks.
Let's go.
Prints are deep. Horse was carrying a heavy load. Calm down, Roach. Just bees.
Giddy up.
Hoof prints.
Achoo! Achoo!
Hey there.
You can try to win them all.
Yeah?
You won't. Adventures, women, passion.
Anyone ride through here? 2 men. One slung over the saddle like a sack.
Oh, aye, something of the kind dashed by. Turned left there. But 'twere a wench you were carrying, swear it on me head, squealing and wailing so.
Run, Roach. Looks like it might have started limping.
Think someone let something slip.
If Big Willie got pissed again, we...
Hey, you! What the hell's afoot here?
What is it?
You tell me. One of them hunters barged into our hut, turned us out before we could so much as fart in protest.
There another man with him? Tall, dark-haired?
Aye, jabbering the whole time.
Dandelion. So, Hunter's barricaded himself inside? There another way in.
Truth be told, there is.
Where's this other way in?
Aren't you curious? It's an ordinary tunnel back way out in case of trouble.
We don't let strangers in there. Show it to 'em even. And there's...
Shut it.
Want to get rid of this hunter or not?
Honest? We'd see you all gone. But he'll do for a start. Here, the key. Cellar door around the back.
Thanks.
Not like I really have a choice now.
And how can I be sure that you won't try anything?
I'll go with you. Not like I really have a choice now, do I?
And there'll be no trickery along the way. I could wring your neck like a fat hen to realize.
Yes, but I also realize you won't. My corpse is worth nothing to you, whereas alive, like I said, 100 gold ingots. 100 gold ingots. You've made a wise choice. Very wise. Might not be more than a sergeant today, but tomorrow.
Quiet! Die, damn it!
Pathetic.
Geralt, must you ruin everything? I had him just where I wanted him. It is good to see you, friend. Been a while since you were last in Novigrad. What's...
Come on, we'll talk outside.
Priscilla! What are you doing here?
You all right? You had me worried sick.
Dandelion, you rascal! Got this lass to thank for his racing after yous. She chivied and chivied.
Shame you arrived too late to see us hoodwink that hunter. I had a plan all set, but then Geralt!
Dandelion, I need to ask you something. It's important, so focus. Where's Ciri?
Ciri? I thought, seeing how you're here, you haven't seen her? I don't know where she is.
I know you tried to help her. Gotta say, I'm having trouble understanding why you went to Whoreson Jr. of all people.
No one else came to mind. Maybe given more time, I'd have done things differently, but Ciri said the Wild Hunt was on her tail. Whoreson seemed pretty harmless by comparison.
Something went wrong.
So you've heard everything. I hope you're not mad. You can't be. My plan was perfect. Until we put it in motion. How was I supposed to know Menge was after Dudu?
Heard enough about your plan. Need to know what happened to Ciri now. When did you last see her?
We were on Temple Isle, running from Whoreson's men.
Grab the bitch! Grab it! Fucking sir.
They barred all the gates! We have to run! Grab a horse to the temple!
Keep it together, mates!
Left! Leave your horse! We have to! We're almost there!
Get ready for the square. After them.
Guards! Guards!
Dandelion!
Ciri! Ciri? Damn it!
Arrest that man!
Ah, what an adventure. One minute we were pulling off the heist of the century, the next we were prey. A pack of hunters on our tail.
Yeah, a splendid story, but I think I've had my fill of this boasting. Come, Zoltan. We must convince the halflings they saw nothing at all.
Gave me enough material for a volume of ballads. And this one will sell like hotcakes.
Nobody's gonna read that drivel.
Sheesh. What crawled into your britches and bit you?
I'm just worried.
About who? Ciri? Have a little faith, Geralt. You have any idea how she fights? The girl can take care of herself, believe me. Anyway, she's got to come back for that little box. The trinket that started it all.
Mean this?
You get it from Whoreson? Whoa, Ciri will be overjoyed. Whoreson, on the other hand's got to be pretty furious.
Well, he wasn't exactly thrilled.
Hey, while you were at it, you didn't think to put in a good word for me, did you? Something like, I never intended to cheat him, and if he harms a hair on my head, he'll have you to deal with.
No, but I'll make sure to mention it next time.
Thanks. Adventures are great, but they can be hard to write up if you're fingerless. Which is not to say Whoreson would stop at that. What about Siggy Reuven? How's he doing?
Fine, last I heard.
Oh, that's too bad. Because I have a sneaking suspicion he might be a teeny bit mad at me.
Ciri ever tell you what this is? And Whoreson, why'd she go to him with it?
She went to Whoreson because I took her there.
Could have guessed that was your idea.
What? Her magic bauble was broken. Whoreson had access to the mages who could fix it. Besides, she needed help deciphering a curse. It's incantation.
What was Ciri's interest in this curse? Did she want to cast it or lift it? She tell you?
She wasn't all that willing to talk about it. I didn't want to pry.
The one time when it might have been useful.
But I'm almost positive she meant to lift it.
Off who? What? Or was it about her directly?
No. I don't think so. I mean, she didn't look cursed. But boy, was she in a hurry.
Know any more about the curse? Something specific, a detail, anything?
Well, I know the words.
You're kidding.
No, they were Elven. Ciri was constantly repeating them to herself. Probably not to forget. Went like this. Vafile Elaine, Kiadmil Foli. Gladev Dorn Ep Tenaid, Bundro Isne Iakas.
Doesn't mean a thing to me.
Even less to me.
Damn it, that's just not enough. Ciri say anything else?
Didn't say much at all, to be honest. Geralt, she's no longer that little girl who ran around Kaer Morhen. Sure, she's still impulsive, alive, but she's also stubborn and sulky. Apple didn't fall far from the tree, let me tell you.
Right. She slipped away again. I was so close.
She came here from Velen. Somebody there helped her, apparently. Maybe she went back.
Doubt it. Talked to the Baron there. He's the one helped Ciri. Said she rode off to Novigrad to look for Yen and me. And Yen's in Skellige, looking into traces she thinks Ciri left behind there.
So, Skellige?
Skellige.
You two have chatted enough. Now it's my turn to talk to Dandelion.
And I'll gladly have a go at him when you've done. Let's get back to the Rosemary in time.
Well, I've certainly had my share of excitement for one day. A juicy roast in a soft bed with fluffy pillows. I think that's the least I'm owed. We haven't seen each other, talked in ages. Consider dropping by if you're in the area.
I'm sure to be by sometime soon.
I'll hold you to that, Geralt. See you soon. And thanks again for today.
But why ever would he want that? We are grateful that we wanted to demonstrate that. So, we got this wee gift for you.
Portrait of the Hierarch. Nice.
It's nothing really. Got oodles of them. Just, if you wouldn't mind not mentioning where you got it. All right.
All right. Farewell.
Armies across the river.
There must be order.
Terrified doesn't scare away monsters after all. Good thing.
Arms for the poor.
Yes? Who are you here for?
Triss.
Told her from the start. No men, no pets. 'Tis a decent house for decent folk.
Don't worry, won't stay long.
Geralt, I've got a problem. Can we talk? Yes, Geralt?
Been in Novigrad long?
Long enough to know how not to get caught and survive.
And before you came here, where were you?
Oh, places where I managed to get by without your help, too. Which doesn't mean I'm not happy to see you.
See, you kept the Rose of Remembrance I gave you in Flotsam.
seems so long ago. Probably because so much has changed.
So, sentimental value. That why you kept it?
Partly, though more as a warning.
Feel all right?
So. Why do you ask?
Maybe we should talk about something else.
Gladly. I was about to ask the same.
What did you want to talk about?
I got a strange message. Don't quite know what to think.
Who was it from?
Ingrid Vegelbud's servant. Apparently, Lady Vegelbud's prepared to donate a tidy sum. She wants to help mages escape from Novigrad.
Guessing this wouldn't be a selfless act of charity.
You guess right. And that's my problem. Vegelbud needs a favor from me. No details in the letter, unfortunately. I'm supposed to meet the servant at the fish market. Says he needs to explain everything face to face, but these days I can't be sure meeting him's a good idea.
What are you afraid of exactly?
That it's a trap. On the one hand, it's an opportunity I can't afford to let slip. We need the coin. On the other...
Nobody expects you to risk your life.
I expect that of myself. The thing is, it used to be easier. When I didn't know what it's like to be tortured, what it's like to hear the screams of others and be unable to do anything.
You could have escaped at any time.
I know, but I was still terrified. What if they fetter me in real Dimeridian? You won't always be there to help.
Don't like this at all, but you seem determined. Not about to let you deal with it alone.
Thank you.
The servant. How are you supposed to contact him?
Said I'd recognize him. He'll be in a blue tunic, have a load of keys strapped to his belt. I'm supposed to ask him about the price for his trout.
Whose idea you think this was? The servants or Vegelbud's?
My bet's on Ingrid. High-born damsels have a lot more time than their servants to read adventure novels.
Think it'll be better if I talk to the mystery man in the blue tunic.
He's expecting to meet me.
You just wait nearby. I'll make sure that note didn't come from the witch hunters. Then you come in.
Fine. Let's meet there.
Looking wobbly. Need some overripe sheep's feet. Eternal fire protects us. Gives monsters the shits.
Yes.
Lots of blue jerkins.
Well, enough.
Interesting.
From the distance south, you'll not find it anywhere else.
Just how far south?
Yeah? Know where I can get the best price on trout?
Perhaps. But it wasn't you I was to meet, sir.
Want to talk to the letter's recipient, I gotta be present.
Caution would advise.
Caution's advising you not to argue right now. Trust me.
Seems I've got no choice. Come with me. This way. It's not far.
Beg your pardon?
How you like that silver?
Help me!
Thank you. Let's go.
What did they want from you?
I've no clue. First time I've laid eyes on them. Maybe. Well, recently someone's been trying to question our messengers about the young count. Hold on. Where's Miss Marigold? You was to come alone, miss.
If not for him, that trio would have dragged you in for questioning. The tall one was Valdo Murris, works for the witch hunters.
Aye, you're surely right, miss. It just weren't what I expected, since Lady Bagelbud.
Now that we're past the initial courtesies, maybe you can tell us who you are.
Lady Bagelbud's valet. I meant you no offence, sir.
Why wouldn't Lady Vegelbud meet with me personally?
She was afraid they'd follow her. Been a nervous wreck of her.
So what's this about? Be straight.
Lady Vegelbud's son. He's the problem. Master Albert's taken an interest in alchemy. Temple guards got him wind.
Wouldn't worry about the guard, but since the mage hunters tried to grab you, I'd say Albert's in serious trouble.
Aye. Lady Vegelbud bought off the guardsmen, since the hunters paid for every mage revealed to them.
Guardsmen took a bribe from the frightened family and whispered a word to the hunters anyway. How'd Ingrid Vegelbud know to contact Triss? That Triss was the right person?
We learned Miss Marigold would help Myra Base disappear once the witch hunters were onto her. Myra provided Lady Ingrid with magical assistance on a few occasions with Milady's afflictions.
Makes sense. Myra mentioned treating a highborn lady to be once.
Seems Albert needs to disappear as soon as possible.
I can arrange that. Think young Vegelbud can slip out of the house unnoticed?
Tain't that simple, sadly. Master Albert's in hiding at the Vegelbud's country estate. Lady Ingrid's got the notion she can get him out quietly. Wants to throw a lavish masquerade ball.
Am I supposed to attend? Help him escape?
Aye, will not manage without you, miss. Lady Vegelbud bears the hopes of being watched.
It's a good idea. A boisterous bash that'll distract the hunters.
Especially if even half of what I've heard about the Vegelbud's balls is true. Word is, at the last one they served 100 different desserts, and the fireworks boomed from dusk till dawn.
What with the war and all, Milady's ordained but 85 desserts this time. Won't be no candied petals of blue roses from the Zare. The roses have become dreadfully hard to come by.
Oh, I'd love to see it all.
Expect any trouble during the ball?
Hardest part will be to keep Master Albert's departure a secret from his grandmother.
Is that necessary?
Lady Patricia's a fervent believer of the eternal fire. Knows naught about Albert's interests in alchemy. Luckily, the elder Lady Vegelbud's a rare visitor to the country residence.
Truly an atypical family.
Not one to judge, sir.
Hope we won't have to stay till the end.
You're coming with me?
Of course I am. Not about to send you into what could prove to be the lion's den by yourself. Think about it. 85 desserts. While you're still trying to keep your waist at 22 inches.
Geralt, please. How do we get to the residence?
Your invitation. Take it. Guard at the gate will have instructions for you. You're to wear a fox mask, all right? Good luck to you.
Think we can head there now?
You're kidding, right? We have to prepare. Change clothes. Most importantly, buy our masks. I bet you can get everything you need for the ball at Eliel's shop. You know it?
Been there before. Eliel's a friend of Dandelion's. Just masks, right? Probably don't need to wear a doublet, do I?
A doublet, Geralt. And it's not up for discussion. Take care of that and come see me.
The last individual who tried to come in on my business, it took them a month to find him. Am I being clear, Chive?
What's the fuss about? Can you not treat me as a bit of healthy competition?
Why are you even talking to him, Duke? I've always maintained 2 smashed knees are worth 1,000 words.
Oh, get out. Glad you came.
There a problem?
A problem? There's some kind of problem here, gents. Oh, Just wanted you to meet my new pals before the bugger the fuck off. Because we're just parting, right?
We'll have our reckoning yet, Chief, eh? Soon.
What's this? Some flea-ridden mutant got you scared, Duke? Just say the word. I'll take care of him. Take a peek at what he's got inside, then make the midget eat it. Sound good?
Next time, Earl. Let's go.
Right. Don't show your hides round here ever again. Well, that puts me up to the neck in fucking shite without a shovel.
Shady, those guys. Who were they?
Puffed up fish bladders, Duke. Word does he's out to be the new Whoreson Junior, but the bugger's missing a hell of a lot. Specifically coin, influence, men, and class.
And the other?
Errol. A scumjug like few others. Skin of my arse twitches at the sight of him. Back in Mahakam, we'd send sow buggers like that down the coalface with a bundle of powder and a leaky lamp.
What's this all about? Doing business with them?
Exactly the ploughing opposite. You see, Geralt, old pal...
About to ask me for help, aren't you?
The thing is, I sort of kind of owe a wee sum to a mutual acquaintance, Francis Bedlam, the king of beggars. To pay off the debt, I've made up my mind to get serious about Gwent.
Getting better by the minute.
Not the playing of it, mind you, but the cards themselves. The rarest of them fetch princely sums these days. Sadly, that's not exactly arcane knowledge. Got a buyer in heat for my collection, missing just 3 cards. But Duke's dregs are all over my arse, so... What do you say, Geralt?
Fine. We'll try to hunt down those cards. Which ones you need?
Fringilla, Vigo, Isengrim, and John Natalis. Devilish hard to get hold of. Duke's been trying too, hasn't had any luck.
Wait, you don't even know where to look for these cards?
Nah, it's not as bad as that. I'm betting Zed's got them. He quit fencing recently, only deals in cards now. Unfortunately, the arsewite won't talk to me. Not after I bought a one-of-a-kind Scoia'tael card out from under his nose. Would you mind going to see him?
Zed. Sounds familiar.
Big fish in the card pond. Has a shop along the south wall. And thank you, Geralt. I actually think I stand to pay off this debt now.
No problem. See you later, Zoltan.
Is this truly hurry? To be a purveyor of cheap whores and watered-down wine?
Hey, I can't control what I inherit.
You can control what you do with but the
I know. Well, I know, which is exactly why I'm considering.
You're always considering. If it's not one thing, it's another. Let me know when you finally decide. I haven't the strength, Geralt. Perhaps you can talk some sense into him. Hey there, Hen.
What was that about?
She spat in my face. Or might as well have. Called me a whoremonger and a witless hack. Can you imagine? Wit is my forte.
Gotta say, Priscilla's really growing on me.
Save it.
And why don't you save your pouting? Prove to her she's wrong.
Exactly what I plan to do. I've always dreamed of having my own cabaret. A bit of paint and plaster, and this place will do splendidly. Just one hitch. We need corn. So, if you happen to get a break between drowners and ecamajigs, maybe you can help an old friend out.
Where do you get this cabaret idea?
It's been a dream for years. Ever since we went to see one in Oxenford. Remember? The dancer hanging from the chandelier? And once she was completely downside up, she called you over and...
I remember.
How could you forget? And this place will be even better, I promise. That is, of course, if I can scrounge together the funds for some remodeling.
How can I help you?
I dated this girl once, Sophronia. That's a name if you can believe it. has a merchant for a father, importer of spices from Zarakane. And Daddy Deer would never refuse his daughter Deer a thing. We can borrow the coin from her.
Name rings a bell. Isn't this the woman you abandoned without saying a word? Stepped out for a bottle of wine, never to return?
I bought that wine for a reason.
Long time ago, that.
Been away a while, sure. Which is why I need to draw on your authority. You've got some, you know, no matter what you might think.
Fine. Tell me what you want. Got a feeling you've a plan all cooked up.
Sophronia could still be holding a grudge after our unfortunate parting. But with a touch of help from you, I know she'll forgive me. And then give me that loan.
What's this help entail?
First of all, we need to borrow a dull sword from Madame Arena, one of her props. You know, the kind they use during performances? Get that, then meet me outside Sophronia's house.
Let's say I agree and go see Madame Arena. What'll you be doing in the meantime?
Something I have to finish. But I promise I'll do it before you come back with the sword. Then I'll tell you the rest.
Fine, but...
Geralt, the only buts in this plan will be the ones filling my seats. It'll work, you'll see. Get the sword from Madame Arena and meet me outside Sophronia's at sunset.
Oh man, you never given up. What? He never given me nothing but floppy together.
What's he schemed up this time?
This boat's ill. Ill off.
Well, another freak. Sick of it.
Won't let them boss you around, eh?
Greetings. Come to look over my spring collection, perhaps?
Glad to take a glance at what you got.
Of course, please do. If anything chafes or pinches, I can alter it on the spot at no charge. Once I'm done, it'll feel like you're wearing nothing at all.
So long.
It's getting cold.
Stop plumbing. There's somebody coming.
No loitering round here lately.
My mum says I'll turn into a strigot.
No monsters.
Looking to make some coin too. Grey one again.
Dawn's been swinging off his hinges all day.
Oh my. Certainly took my request to heart.
Mean you weren't being serious? Still got time to change.
Don't you dare. You look great. You get everything?
Learn anything else about Albert?
Well, almost none of the mages have heard of him. An amateur, I guess.
So why the interest? Temple guards first, then hunters?
He's easy prey, and that's exactly why we should help him.
Everything's ready. We can go.
A shame events like this are so rare. Without them, I'd never get to see you dressed up.
Damn doublet's chafing my armpits, and it feels like they sewed wires into this.
I'll be sure to admire your valiant suffering the whole time. Well then, shall we go?
Greetings, my lord, my lady.
We're Lady Ingrid Vegelbud's guests.
Your invitation, please. All's in order. You'll find Lady Vegelbud in the estate's yard. Look for the parrot mask. One more thing. Leave your swords here, please.
Fine.
A pleasant evening to you both.
It's beautiful here. I haven't been outside the city in ages.
How could he? With that scrawny harlot!
Hello.
Now, don't cry.
No use pretending you don't know me. Is that any way to treat an old mate? Refuse to acknowledge him?
There's been a mistake. I don't know you, sir.
Don't be foolish, Vivian. I'd recognize that mane anywhere. You might play the great dame now, but before that Baron Edward something pulled you from the gutter, you were a common.
Enough. The lady said she doesn't know you.
Who's this? The new one? Older than the last, it seems. A decrepit, moss-covered prick. So, the less they can, the more they pay. Is that it?
You asked for it.
No.
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
We weren't supposed to draw any attention.
What? Nothing happened.
My husband's a supervisor by trade.
I'm a kraken!
Moritz, what are you doing here?
Little Miss Marigold. Well, well. And I was led to believe this would be an elegant affair.
Yes, I missed you too. But can we put that aside for now? Do you have a way out of Novigrad? You can join us if you want.
Join you? And just who would I join?
Your friends, among others. Once we've all gathered, I'll lead you.
You will lead. Forgive me, Marigold, but that is like allowing myself to be led by a lame duck. Farewell.
Who is that?
He's an old friend. His name's Moritz Diefenthal. Tell you the story later. Oh, let's look around.
The House Society urges.
How goes it?
Gregor, have you seen Durgoff just moments ago? Oh, apologies. I mistook you for my friend. He wears a similar mask.
General Voris.
Geralt of Rivia. So, I was not entirely mistaken.
Pleasure, as always. This is...
A beautiful and mysterious lady. Let us leave the formalities to the event's end, when all will remove their masks. More fun that way, wouldn't you agree?
I would, sir.
And now I must beg your pardon. I really must find Durgoff, and quickly. A lovely evening to you both.
eternal fire burning and all that, your reputation precedes you, Count. Looking for me, sir?
Oh!
On a clear day, you can see no
Stay
dark
away.
banners from the city wall.
Oh, hi. Greetings. Be on your way.
Ah, another challenger. Please join us. Sir Devenant just vacated his place at the table. It's rather unlikely he'll be back.
What happened to him?
Some good men took him aside to prevent him from hurting himself. So, shall we play? First, you shall face Margrave Vladimir de Cray. The man can afford to lose, so he's likely to be reckless.
Not in the mood.
Not in the mood to win. Is it in case the first one breaks? Smart.
The men of this family scouring right blood. Don't not be seen round town.
Excuse me a moment. Miss?
Yes, it's me. The trout buyer?
Oh, yes, of course. Please excuse the precautions, but perhaps we could speak somewhere in private. Thank you for agreeing to help. My valet warned me you might come with a friend. I'd prefer as few as possible knew of Albert's flight, but if you trust this man...
Like no one else.
Any sign of the hunters recently?
Since they attacked my servant at the market, none. All has been quiet. But I bribed a man of the Temple Guard. He claims there's more and more talk of Albert in the ranks.
How did the guardsmen learn about your son's interests to begin with?
Unfortunately, I cannot be sure Albert himself was not the source, merely boasting about an experiment. He's careless that way. Like his father, a kind man but a dimwit, devoured by an Arachas. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah, must have traveled far and wide.
Hardly. He attempted to breed them. Perhaps I should be pleased Albert adopted alchemy as his hobby, a safe one, relatively speaking. Until recently, that is.
Let's get Albert. Where is he?
Entertaining the guests. He's always been an outsized presence at my receptions. I preferred not to arouse any suspicions.
When can we take him away?
We shall have to wait until the guests have imbibed enough to notice only the goblet-laden trays. Don't fret, it won't be long.
Is your son ready to go? We'll have to act quickly.
Yes, I've seen to everything. Where will you take him?
You're better off not knowing any details. He'll be safe, I promise.
But...
Please, trust me. It's not the first time I've done this.
I know. Thank you.
How will we recognize him?
He's donned a panther mask. He knew you were due to come for him. Seemed rather excited, ironically. I'm afraid he's not fully comprehended the danger he faces. As I said, he's not terribly bright.
Don't worry about that. He'll fit right in with a good number of the other mages.
Geralt! Let's go find him.
I shall await word from you.
Let's look for Albert.
Back again.
This is an offence to nature.
Your
Does the
reputation
Temple
precedes
Guard
you,
know
Geralt.
what goes on there?
Late. Breathe.
Right in the bollocks, right in.
Getting old.
Late for supper again.
Oh, sorry, sir. I highly recommend it.
And then a colossal boom. Nothing. I leapt out of the way in time, naturally, and yes.
Nice mask. Albert Vegelbud.
No. I am a Black Panther.
Oh my, Count!
Your mom sent us, Mr. Panther.
Oh, so you are.
Yes, when can we leave the estate?
Well, Mama said it would be best to wait until everyone's drunk. Besides, there'll be fireworks later, a jolly good distraction. Once they've begun, I shall slip away, saunter into the garden. We'll meet in the hedge maze.
Be waiting for you there.
Very well. But first, you absolutely must try the Fiorano Rosé. Absolutely.
Hope Albert hasn't forgotten the reason for this whole get-together.
Wanna wait in the garden? I saw a nice spot there earlier.
Mark my words, I'll kick him out. It's another night for that.
Now she's...
Care to sit down for a spell? Relieved to get that mask off, if only for a little. Great view from here, and there's even wine. It's been so long since I've been to a feast, ball, or reception. Amazingly pleasant change from the sewers of Novigrad.
So, does this mean it's a good time to ask you about...
Yes?
About that mage we met earlier?
Oh, Moritz. What do you want to know?
How'd you meet?
Geralt, all mages know each other. Some are well over a century old. That's plenty of time to make acquaintances.
In that case, when did you meet him?
At a feast, long ago. He walked up and just blatantly offered to teleport us somewhere quieter.
Seemed just like the type.
Oh, really? At the time, to me, he seemed sweet. He actually pursued me for a while afterwards.
Got the impression he doesn't exactly like you.
I just think he'd love to have me as his charge, rather than his leader.
See, but you're the one organizing the mage's escape from Novigrad.
Sometimes I have no idea how I actually managed to bring them all together.
You're a charismatic leader, simple as that.
You really think so?
Absolutely. Next thing you know, they'll be calling you Iron Marigold. Could even wear an eye patch and it'd look right.
For a moment there, I thought you were being sincere.
Of course I'm being sincere. Look at me. Didn't blush a bit. Someone's coming.
Is it Albert?
No, just some lost guest. Shh.
Must be looking for his beloved. Like in that elven tale about the frog and the lark. Inchu, inchu, biag broga. Inch by inch, little frog.
Shh, let's go.
Oh. I sure hope the other guests don't get drunk as quickly as I did.
Sooner we get out of here, the better.
Oh, no. I plan to have a good look at this famous maze of theirs first. I hear the statues there are entirely...
Entirely what?
Nude. Come on, Geralt.
Triss, wait.
Geralt, coming? Geralt, coming?
Let's see what's happening. No one's even noticed we're gone.
Careful.
Miss Marigold, at last! So sorry we are forced to meet under such incredibly inopportune circumstances.
You can say that again.
But I'm sure we'll make up for it another time. I absolutely must show you my alchemical formulae.
Anyone follow you?
I don't believe so.
Just in case, you two switch masks. We'll go first. Garrett will follow right after.
Saddled horses await in the stables.
Good. Meet you there.
Albert! Why do you hide? Albert! There you are, my love. Here you are. So, about this private showing.
Under any other circumstances, I'd give you the full Monty.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Albert Vagel.
Please, step away, miss.
Ability's not towards you, Count. Try anything, and you will get bruised.
Doubt it.
Attack from the left!
Not too late to surrender.
You'll be spitting teeth! Attack from the left!
Oh, I've begun to worry.
Everything's fine, though you should probably send someone to clean up the garden before any guests wander in there.
I'm to send servants to the garden?
Yes.
I shall see to it. And you must hurry.
Everything set?
Yes. Got your swords back from the guard. And Ingrid gave me the coin. It's more than I expected. Stunningly more, frankly.
Excellent. So where are we gonna get away to?
You? Nowhere. It's finally possible, probable even, that we can get all the mages out of Novigrad. You know where to find me if you want to say goodbye.
Goodbye?
What happened at the fountain? It was my fault, I know. The wine went straight to my head. I'm sorry.
Triss, don't apologize.
Miss Marigold.
We need to go.
I know. Be careful.
Now, witches, they can't catch the pox. Isn't that right?
Geralt of Rivia, safe and sound.
What do you do here? On Scoia'tael?
You jest, right? Who cares about the Scoia'tael anymore? Temerian, that's what matters.
How'd you wind up here?
Came with the army, of course. Its remnants. When Nilfgaard crossed the Yaruga, I dropped everything. Threw it all away to hell and rode for the front to fight the invader. Joined the Second Temerian army under John Natalis. We were to stop the Black One's advance along the Dol Blathana Mount Carbon line. And we did. For 3 days. Then they smashed us into splinters. Soon after, I heard Radovid was assembling his forces near Novigrad. That he'd promised to fight for a free north. Broke through with the remains of Natalis' army, but Radovid proved no better than Emir. So I decided I would mount my own fight.
Mentioned you have a problem.
It's Vess. She took a couple of lads across the river. She plans to hit the Black Ones at Mulbridale.
So, sounds about like what guerrilla fighters do.
Yes, when they're ordered to. Whereas I forbade her from leaving camp. Indefinitely.
Don't trust Vess anymore?
Bollocks. She's prepared to die for me. Ah, that's not the problem. Know what distinguishes a soldier from a common swashbuckler?
The uniform.
It's a serious question.
A rhetorical one. So instead of waiting for an answer, just enlighten me.
Soldiers think tactically. They know when to strike, when to fall back, when to charge and when to hold. Vess finds this difficult. She's impulsive, hot-headed. Yet in guerrilla warfare, one false step and you're fucked. I confined her to the camp because I feared that sent out she'd go rabid and make a mistake. I was right.
Why Mulbridale? Why'd Vess go there?
The peasants from the village aided us earlier. The Nilfgaardians learned of this. Word got out they're planning a punitive expedition. Probably hang every 5th villager.
Honestly, Vess's desire to save the villagers makes sense. What doesn't is your opposition to the plan.
War means death. Not only for the soldiers, for the common folk as well. You can't save them all, it's that simple.
Funny. Had you for an idealist.
You were right to. Are right to. But I have one ideal. A free Temeria. And I'm prepared to sacrifice anything for it.
All right, so you've got a problem. Insubordination. What am I supposed to do about it?
I doubt Vess has entered the village. More likely she and the boys lie in wait in the woods nearby. We must find her before she attacks and stop her. You're a good tracker. Help me.
Count me in.
Thanks, Geralt. I'll owe you a favor. Meet me in Velen beneath the Hanged Man's tree. It's just a short jaunt from there to Mulbridale.
It's true you killed King. You and our commander.
You've been here, you've been there.
You troubled me, Gregor.
Now, witches, they can't catch the pox. Isn't that right?
It's the village below. Black with Nilfgaardians already. They're preparing to execute folk.
No sign of Vess.
She may be impetuous, but she's not stupid. She's waiting for her moment. Probably attack after dusk once... Shh! What now?
A trio, lightly equipped, sneaking closer. Over there near the...
Death to the Black Ones!
Help me! Circa!
Looks like we're too late.
Geralt, we have to help. Follow me.
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
God damn it, Vess. Have you gone completely mental? You ignore my orders, go off on a suicide mission, and instead of donning a breastplate, you dash into battle shirt open, navel and whatnot exposed.
You're not my father, Roach. You've no right to tell me what to wear.
But I am your commander, and you will obey me. Guerrilla warfare. Warfare! It involves armies, for fuck's sake.
I could not abandon them. They helped us.
It's a soldier's job to kill, Vess, not save, not rescue. If that is not to your liking, join the Sisters of Melitele. Study to be a healer. Fucking hell. Give me your weapon. You'll get it back when you wise up. If you wise up. Move out!
Ren.
One left.
You took my weapon, Roach. So I must manage with my bare hands.
Leave him alone. There are corpses enough here.
What?
You heard me.
I did, and I can't believe it. He came here to murder civilians. He's seen us. Will you have him return to his camp and report?
Emir knows we can kill his men. Let him learn that we can also show mercy.
Roach is right. Besides, killing a defenseless...
What is it with you, Roach? Did the Witcher take your stones? They're sadists. He's the occupier.
I will explain later. You, Nilfgaardian, piss off.
Morentai. Nes dirmad ava.
Go, before I change my mind. We should go before a patrol comes along. Thank you, Geralt. Ever need any help, you know where to find me.
Somebody nicked me dolly.
Now, witches, they can't catch the pox. Isn't that right?
Yeah.